AITA for snapping at my aunt who said I wasn't a real doctor. I, 35F, am a plastic surgeon. I went through years of medical school and residency, but it was worth it. I originally started med school with the hopes of going into psychiatry, but surgery really interested me. The problem started years ago when I first told my family that I was going into plastic surgery, because it was what interests me the most. My parents, siblings and Bill were all supportive, and whenever I felt like giving up they were always there to push me. But a lot of my other family members weren't as supportive. My aunts always made snide comments about it, as well as my cousins, uncles and grandparents on both sides. They were all happy when they knew I was in med school, but completely flipped when they found out I was pursuing plastic surgery. It annoyed me at first, but I learned to just move on from it. But recently my cousin, 40F, on my dad's side, who's the daughter of the aunt who keeps making comments about my job, done a PLC on nursing and childcare, which didn't bother me. I couldn't care less what she does. But my aunt thought I should know everything that's happening with her daughter. Every time I see her she goes on about how smart her daughter is and how amazing she is for doing a PLC in nursing and childcare. But the last time I seen her she said something that really annoyed me. Me and my sister were over at her house because she had some hand-me-downs to give to my nephew. We were all eating when she said, "It's great that she's going into medical school. She's not, she doesn't even have the brains for medical school. Maybe we can finally have a real doctor in the family." I sat there in silence for a second thinking, WTF is she talking about? And then looked at my sister who looked equally as pissed off as me. I snapped back and said, her changing kids' soiled pants doesn't make her a doctor, and her knowing how to clean a cut doesn't either. She's not in medical school, she's too dumb for that. She wouldn't even last a week before dropping out. My aunt looked really pissed off and yelled at me for being rude, and then she told me I wasn't much of a doctor either. I yelled back at her that I went through years of med school and residency, and that I'm a licensed doctor and surgeon, and that she doesn't know what she's talking about. My aunt started crying and left the room, so me and my sister just left. A few hours later I got a text from my cousin calling me a BTCH for what I said and attacking her mom. I got more texts from other family members, and it somehow traveled to my mom's side of the family as well. Majority of them are telling me to apologize for yelling at my aunt, but my immediate family, mom, dad, brother, sister, in-laws, girlfriend, are telling me not to. Now I'm being shunned by both sides of the family, and they're all refusing to talk to me and won't even let me tell my side of the story. So was I top? NTA. A lot of people have an out-of-date Hollywood idea of what a plastic surgeon really does within medicine. They think you picked your specialty so you can get rich giving wealthy vain people boob jobs. They forget about all the people that need reconstructive surgery because of car accidents, fires, flesh-eating bacteria, etc. Your aunt sounds ignorant. NTA. Oh, did it, somehow, travel around the family? You can tell them I said to piss off. And that the plastic surgeon who fixed my 5-year sister's face when a dog ate is. So now that within a year nobody could tell it even happened, changing her life for the better was, in fact, madam, a real doctor. And so is the plastic surgeon who put my friend's chest back together after her double-mast, giving her back confidence and her mental health. So there. We're taking those new tatas to Hawaii this year and bringing a happy, emotionally healthy friend with them. Oh, I'm so angry on your behalf. I feel like I should add that my attack on my cousin wasn't just something random. She's as bad as my aunt. She always makes comments about my job and other things in my life, and always has. She's rude to everyone in my family and is just a generally bad person to be around. Also, before I got into med school, she'd go on about how you have to be really smart to get into it, insinuating that I wasn't smart enough. Remind them it's illegal for a nurse to call herself a doctor. NTA. NTA. I'm not sure what kind of plastic surgery you practice, but I got diagnosed with breast cancer a year ago, and my plastic surgeon has been an absolutely phenomenal to me. Thank you so much for all you do. A good plastic surgeon is doctor, scientist, and artist. Thank you for all you do for your patients. NTA. According to your family, accident victims don't need facial reconstruction surgery. Huh? They assume that you are just out there catering to liposuction and nose jobs for people with too much money. NTA for snapping at your aunt. I completely understand that. If your cousin also made those comments, then you're definitely NTA. NTA. God, I have no idea how people can be so uneducated. Plastic surgery is one of the most competitive fields to match into. You would need to be the cream of the crop to even consider it as a field. And your dumbass aunt is shaming you? If I were you, I'd cut out every single family member who supported this shaming and drive away in my Ferrari. Okay, NGL. As an infectious disease doctor, I've made my share of jokes about surgeons barely being doctors. But that's just friendly collegial ribbing. Lol. Plastic surgery is a super competitive field. So you're clearly not just a doctor, but a doctor who studied really hard and learned a ton of medicine. At least before you became a scalpel jockey and forgot it all. NTA. Obviously. My best friend was mauled by a dog, and an absolute magician of a plastic surgeon reconstructed her nose and cheek. The very realest of doctors did that work, and it was amazing. NTA. Esh. You're a real doctor. And you have the degree to prove it. You lost the high ground when you said your cousin was too dumb for medical school and wouldn't last a week. Lowering yourself to your aunt's level made you just as hateful as she is. This is clearly an esh. If it's not just a flat-out fabrication, writing style feels off. Was your aunt an AH? Yes. Did you have a right to feel offended, indignant, angry? Yes. Did you need to insult someone who wasn't even there and had no input on the ridiculous things coming out of your aunt's mouth? No. You were a massive AH for that. Since the actual question was if you were in the wrong for snapping at your aunt. And the things you said when you snapped were clearly things an AH would say. Why are also TH? Again, your feelings were justifiable. Your words were not. Info. What is a PLC? Your family seems toxic. Everyone is the but especially the aunt. Esh. Your aunt was ridiculously out of line. You are absolutely a doctor. You're a damn surgeon. Others have enumerated the many things plastic surgeons do for people's wellness and to heal injuries. But even if you only did cosmetic surgery, you would still deserve respect. That's still difficult, intricate work that requires a high level of skill, learning, and care. You really didn't need to insult your cousin. Though, no, nursing and childcare isn't on the same difficulty level as surgery. But it's still worthy, necessary work. Your cousin wasn't the one being hurtful to you here. It might have been better to keep your response focused on your aunt and her poor behavior rather than a third party. NTA. If your aunt and cousin are gonna make snide remarks about your job, which absolutely is a doctor, they don't get to throw a tantrum when you give them a taste of their own medicine. Pun intended. Aunt can dish it out but can't take it. PFFT. NTA. You're not a doctor? I know people with mastectomies who would beg to differ. I know people who couldn't breathe due to deviated septums who would beg to differ. I know people born with physical deformities who would beg to differ. I know people who have been in horrific accidents or were the victims of violent crimes who would beg to differ. You're not only a doctor, but you're doing life-changing work.
NTA.
NTA. Screw those people. NTA relatives who try to play the comparison game risk getting called out. She effed around one too many times and found out. It's science.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. AmITheAsshole is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.